Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another scene in Living World of Darkness, the Mage venue. I still don't know what it's called, by the way, which is also a reason why I really hate to do intros, but I was nominated, unfortunately. So, welcome everyone to the Chantry, the Happy Dragon. I don't even know how the bloody thing is called.
You're really selling it, Saskia.
Yeah, I know, right? Making sure no one wants to watch the scene. And today we find a couple of mages in the common room. I was kind of curled up there reading a book, and that's where we're going to begin this scene because I don't really have any inspiration to draw this out any longer.
Well, Elijah will be coming downstairs. Probably, mm, probably yes. Having being being followed by one or two bees that seems to be following him, just dancing around his head. He will sit. He will sit at the table, open a uh, sugar treat, put it on next to the teacup, or well, I guess he's two lovely escorts.
Yep, I'll have a look up, and she'll greet Elijah and then stop halfway. It's like, hey, there's some there are some insects around you. Is that she takes a little bit of a um, not defensive position, but she looks a bit cautious at the two bees. She's not particularly fond of these creatures.
Uh yes, I have been testing pheromone inputs on brain activities towards insect and invertebrates to see how I could enhance and coordinate them into actions against our common enemies. For now, it seems to be practical, and I need to expand and testify more. But yes, it works. As he puts more sugar, as the bee seems to be very happy to just take the sugar.
How do you test such a thing?
Mostly bees. Bees, like a lot of insects, are subject to pheromones and other mean of communication. I had tried first with signaling and doing dances and moves, as they tend to communicate through flight and coordination. However, efforts seem to be pretty difficult difficult to put in place, so had to go to a more pheromonal level, as they perceive me as one of their own. For now, at least. We'll have to need to testify coordinated effort.
Okay, right. Sounds interesting. A bit dangerous, though. What if someone is allergic to bees?
Hmm. As he shrugs. I have tools at my disposal. But yes, run. I will run a as he thinks. I will run a questionnaire towards the people of the Chantry, asking what are their allergies, so I can make sure that I can provide something in case someone would have an allergy.
Okay, good.
Hmm. Oh yes. Um. Please do not attack the spiders.
The spiders.
Yes.
You have spiders as well.
I am currently in the process of gathering insectoids of many sorts. I just thought that, well, for now I am only trying to gather uh, spiders, beetles, uh, bees. Next step would be probably wasps. But as for uh, as for general reaction, people have a tendency to squash a spider, so I would be very much appreciative if squashing weren't to happen.
Right. Maybe we should put a note board in here. These kind of messages so that they reach everyone.
Hmm. Yes, I do believe that could probably help. Hmm. I wouldn't want any rare spider to be squashed.
Where do you keep all these insects anyway?
Hmm?
Where do you keep them?
Oh, in my lab. And depending, also in the greenhouse, insects
Okay.
tends to prefer warm warm climates and also vegetation. So the greenhouse seems to be, for now, with my lab, the best place to have some of them.
Good to know. Um,
I can see the mental note. Never step again in the greenhouse.
yeah, kinda. And have you given consideration about their natural enemies? I mean, I know at least Boris has a companion that might not care too much about your insects.
Well, I am not responsible for the actions of a crow, as it still follows a natural order. But thankfully, crows tends to be more interested in bigger prey rather than small insects.
Fair enough.
However, he takes out a pen and he writes down, "Be careful about mices."
At this point, Nausicaa's door opens, and she does the thing she always does. She kind of squeezes around the door, opening it as little as possible, and basically just kind of walks out and sees the two and just kind of stands in front of them, hands behind her back. Good evening.
Hey,
Hello.
What are you two eating this evening?
I haven't really made any plans yet for dinner.
Never have I.
Nausicaa looks disappointed.
I mean, if you want to, I can get into the kitchen and see what's around.
Nope.
Can
You need to do exactly what you were going to do. Don't worry about me.
I mean, that was basically what I was gonna do, except in like maybe half an hour.
Sure. How are you, Elijah? I haven't seen you in a little bit.
I'm doing fine. My wounds have been completely healed up thanks to the regenerative process, and I am in the current process of studying a little bit more the intrication of pheromones towards the brainwave of insectoid life to try and see if I can not only, well, perhaps make some of them evolve into a superior state, but also see which use they may have to help us to deal with our common enemy.
Nausicaa sees the bees at this point and takes a step back. I'm glad to hear that you are putting your skills to good use. Are they, and she kind of gestures to the bees, under your control?
As of now, yes, they perceive me whenever I use, for now, some of pheromones, as he gets out a small bottle of perfume. At least that's what it looks like. Whenever I put it on me, yes, they tend to follow the order that I give, but I haven't tried to make any complex one. I am trying to remain simple.
Quite fascinating.
You know, they're not what? They're not going to sting you. Stinging you would mean that they would die.
I know. I understand the logic of bees not stinging unless provoked to. And you can both see that despite her saying that, she still kind of is keeping a distance from them.
Mm. And how is your conglomerate going?
The fund.
Yes.
It is being set up. This week, hopefully, we'll have the opening trade day. Avahir has done. Nausicaa thinks for the word. An imaginative effort in decorating the place.
Mm.
Although the employees that we have hired seem to like it. So that is what matters, I suppose.
Mm. Yes, I think a working environment that is aesthetically pleasing may increase productivity.
Well, if I ever fail as a mage, I might become an interior architect. Who knows?
You should not joke about that. Boris has said you're the most powerful of us.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, well, what?
I'm sure he was exaggerating a bit.
I don't think so.
Mm.
Have either of you two heard the beeps?
What?
Beeps?
The sounds. Like sonar.
When were we supposed to hear them?
It's mostly outside the chantry. It's hard to hear in here.
Okay. I have not heard anything in or outside the chantry.
Mm.
I mean, they're out there now? Do
I don't
you
know.
hear them now? Oh.
For safety's sake, I rarely left the chantry as little as possible, and I have maintained to do even that. I believe there is a good chance that the technocracy are searching for us using some kind of device. That is what it sounds very much reminiscent of sonar. I wish to speak to some of you and see if we would be able to triangulate where it is coming from.
Okay. Does
It
Alva
only
stand up?
I only hear it in a magical sense. I
In a
believe
magical sense.
that it may be using the spheres of entropy and spirit.
Okay, I'll just a moment, and Alva will go to the portal room, grab something, and we'll get back. Goes into the kitchen, opens the window there, starts smoking a joint.
I have a vanilla drug addict.
It's not a drug addict.
That's what they all say.
That's what everyone who's not an addict says as well. So actually, this does mean that I need to activate.
I can stop whenever
Dice
I
roller.
want.
Dice roller, dice roller.
They all
dum,
say.
dum. Let me see if I can activate spirit sight. Oh. I'll inhale again. Continue to roll.
It's a +1
Better.
difficulty. But yeah.
And once more to make sure that it lasts you during the scene. It does. That's at least 6 successes. So it takes like 15, 20 minutes maybe that she's in the kitchen. So whatever you guys want to do during that time.
So, what do you think this is?
I'm not sure. But sonar is essentially a detection device. And I am not aware of other tradition mages in the city, so it seems likely that is a technocratic procedure.
Hmm.
Also, the Technocratic Union are like Gigana nods to Elijah, me and you, they focus their magic through scientific principles, of which sonar is one.
Hmm.
I believe that
Yeah.
if we weren't already being careful, we should be even more careful now.
Yes, it makes sense. Problem is that we cannot be sure as to what it is. Hmm.
We cannot. But if it is sonar, there'll be variance in the speed it travels around the city. If we are able to see where it is in several points at the same time, I would relatively easily be able to triangulate the source.
Hmm. It would be good if we could perhaps trace it somewhere else. If the sonar, I mean, technically a sonar is going to be a sound wave percussion. So whatever it is trying to find, I guess, would be of magical source. Otherwise, I don't see really how useful it would be. So maybe best case scenario, if we don't have to confront them, but can just send them on a loose trace, it would be good. But
I agree. Confronting them is problematic. But I do believe that if we are able to find the source, and so far between the Zeta Clinic and Iron Man Security, we have seen that they operate through essentially private firms. If it is another private firm, then we will at least know where they are located. And if we know what they are doing, then we are able to counter it. Would you not think?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. We just need to find the proper way to set them on a loose trail.
I believe first we should find out where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
The most obvious thing is it a static point? Or is it mobile? It does not seem unlikely that they are. They have some kind of device mounted in a vehicle that they are driving around with, attempting to detect us.
Mm.
I'm surprised you have not heard it. You spend more time on the roof than the rest of us. It's definitely stronger outside of the chantry. I believe that we are at least somewhat protected in here.
Probably then the only explanation is that it has a certain resonance that can only be catched by certain people. Probably have to do with a different sphere that they may be using.
She knows. It seems likely. So your, and she kind of gestures. Your pets.
Mm-hmm. My pets,
what kind of actions can you train them for?
What did you exactly ask? Like, what can you train them for?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As of currently, I am only able for now to give them simplistic order that do not go outside of their instinct. I do not think I would be able, for example, to ask one of the beasts to recite me Shakespeare. But with enough time, I could probably use the insects to spy if I'm able to miniaturize cameras or other means of espionage. People generally don't tend to pay much attention to insects. And otherwise, if I can indeed control swarms on a larger scale, then probably also could have some use. It's difficult to concentrate and shoot on people when you're attacked by hundreds of bees.
I can imagine. And yeah, Nausicaa looks like she can and does not want to be imagining that.
At that point, I will walk back into the common area. There's a particular smell hanging around her. And she looks a bit bit off, but he just frowns. He says, "You are right."
Usually, yes.
Where does it come from?
We don't know. That is what we are discussing.
Oh, right.
I believe if two of us were in separate locations around the city, in communication, and we timed the difference between the beeps for us. If it is some kind of sonar device or something replicating that theory, then it will be a wave. And even though will be only a small amount of seconds, we would be able to tell. 2 would give us a rough area, and I believe if there are 3 of us in different areas of the city, then I will be able to create a precise location relatively quickly. Simple trigonometry.
You could use the focus point, I guess. Right? So you think it's like them?
I don't know for sure. But similar to the situation with Agatha, if we do not assume the worst, we are taking on a rather large amount of risk. If it is not them, and we simply find a curiosity.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess our priority really is to determine what is this and whether or not it is indeed from the technocrats.
I might be able to try something on that. Yeah, I'll try to see if I can get up something. I mean, probably not, but I can try. I'll try tonight.
What is it you were planning?
um, sorry. Nothing serious. It won't place me in any risk. I was thinking about falling asleep while listening to these sounds and try to trigger a dream, like I did with the portal.
Elsica kind of nods. This could be effective. If you are to do this, however, I would like to try something as well. I have been reading a book by an old wizard, a member of the Hermetic Order. Apparently, his specialty was in warding areas, which is the practice of invoking them with some kind of ban magic. I would like to apply these principles to apply a word of correspondence that will make what you are doing more difficult to detect.
I mean, I'm not doing anything magical. Well,
if you are opening yourself up to it, we don't know whether that will perhaps reveal you.
Well, if you want to, I can do it in your apartment, so that if something goes wrong, I at least won't be risking the chantry.
If you are able to hear it within the chantry, effectively,
I can hear it, yeah.
then we can simply, and then do it here. This place is, as far as I understand, well protected. If we do it in my apartment, and something goes wrong. We may not even know it, and we may have those things
But on the
coming
other
after us.
hand, if they are going after me and I'm here and they locate me here, then that might be an issue.
This is why you should speak to Lee. He will know if this place is able to protect us well enough.
Yeah, I'll speak to him first.
Also, regarding this, I plan on putting up some of these wards in the hedge fund
Nice. Yeah.
on our data servers and in the general area. It should make it more difficult to detect.
Mm-hmm. If you need help, I might be able to help along with it. My correspondence is rather well.
She nods. Even if we do not work in consort,
Yeah.
you may very well be able to create wards and bands of your own. I have been
Quite
reading
possible.
that each of the spheres is quite capable of creating its own versions of wards and bands within the energies and principles that they are best known for.
Yeah. I've
Right.
already made a mind shield once.
Hmm. That's interesting and workable.
I believe it is a strong defensive practice that we should all perhaps look more into. The library is a valuable resource regarding these things, and it seems to be the mainstay of tradition defenses.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's actually interesting? I know it doesn't immediately relate to this, but now that I look at the spirit world, and I think I did indeed become stronger. So weird. I hadn't tried anything after that dream. This went kind of easy.
There are then.
Well, at least now we know it can happen. I wasn't aware of it. Silly. At least now you can prepare for it somewhat.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah. And for future use, I'll have to check the extension of my mastery over the matter sphere. If I'm able to at least perhaps change the atomic substance of our clothes, having something akin to Kevlar could also be extremely useful.
Nausicaa's eyes, widen slightly. You believe that you can make us bulletproof clothing?
At this point, I'm not entirely sure if, from what I've seen of my use of the matter sphere, I'm able to change sort of things, not able to change their state. But I've been able to turn water into wine and water into acid for a small amount of time. So theoretically, if I change cotton into Kevlar, it could theoretically be possible. However, currently I am not sure if I can provide it to others, as I have tried previously in a different direction. It didn't had like my serum doesn't have any effect on anybody else but me. So I will have to check and see if indeed the same apply for matter modification. But if it is the case, then I will need to grow stronger in order to provide people with this kind of protection.
Nosuke just nods. It is good that we all have a mind to self-improvement. Have you thought about joining a tradition, Elijah? I believe for further advancement, we should seek masters to be apprentices to. This seems to be the social norm within the traditions.
I have to say, as of now, I didn't put much thought into it, as I've been trying to work and make things happen. As I find it slightly frustrating that for other people it seems way easier. My magic seems to involve a lot of preparation and technology, which means that it takes more time in preparation, as I am not able, as certain people, to just wave crystal and make fire happen.
Magic manifests through our own understanding and is focused through our own beliefs. The same is true for me. I have to spend many hours analyzing data to come to similar conclusions that Caleb is able to simply, she shrugs, do yoga. For example, the rest of you and some of the others have talked about seeing things glow when they are using a sphere to observe its area of relevance. I am unable to do this, but I am able to observe it and analyze it enough to gather the information at a later date. Things work out differently for everyone.
Yeah.
For example, Ava here is crippled by a drug addiction that is linked to her magic use.
Ava rolls her eyes. Whatever, Nausicaa. I'm not going to have this discussion again with you. It's pointless.
In this vein, though, I would tell you both that I have asked Tasha about joining one of the traditions, the virtual adepts, the one she is part of.
Mm-hmm.
She has given me a task.
Look.
It is proving challenging.
Any way we can help?
I believe the help of others would be
Counterproductive.
not necessarily counterproductive, but if one is given a task to complete, then getting others to simply help them with it seems like cheating.
We're playing it smart, but I get what you're saying.
And the objective of this is to prove that I am worthy to join.
I don't really see myself joining either Tasha or Boris.
No. You asked Boris about the Order of Hermes.
Yeah.
Most of the books in the library are written by members of this order. They seem very studious.
Does that mean you agree or disagree with me?
I agree.
Maybe I should go to the Cult of Ecstasy.
No.
No, not even with my drugs problem.
I believe you should try and overcome that, not embrace it.
It's not a problem, Nausicaa. It's not an addiction.
Nausicaa just gives Elijah kind of a look that says, that's what they all say.
As he's just looking back and forth. I mean, if it comes to problems of addiction, I'm pretty sure if given time, I can produce an enzyme that will change your bodily reaction to drugs and make them extremely untasteful.
How would you administer something like this, Elijah?
Don't answer her that, please. For all our sanity.
As he just he looks at Ava and bites his lower lips. It's like, but I want to science. As he just coughed with.
Because
I mean,
I
technically,
know.
it wouldn't be
No,
necessarily that
no,
bad. It
no,
just means that I
no,
would need
no,
to paint
no,
body receptors
no,
with
no,
different kind
no,
of enzymes.
Elijah,
It's not
no,
really that hard.
no. Don't do it.
I
If
mean, I
only
know
because I can see her giving that to either Julie or me without us knowing it. Now, for me, I don't need it on a day-to-day basis. I use it to get in a certain mindset so that some of my magic actually is effective. For Julie, on the other hand, I do have the feeling she kind of needs that on a day-to-day basis. And I am not sure about the consequences there. So please don't, Nausicaa.
Elijah will exchange look with Nausicaa and just write down on his on his little book. Be careful, dangerous drug addict will need to search way to counteract feeling of feeling of dependence.
Nausicaa just nods and pulls out her phone and basically just starts talking to Elijah via text messages right in front of Ava. Just being like, you're quite right, we should be more subtle. They may become violent.
And as a he exchange, I mean, the purpose of an experiment in prime condition is that the subject is not aware that he is being subjugated. So yes, indeed, we need to be more careful about our approach.
Nausicaa's like making no real kind of like hiding the fact that she's probably talking about like the same conversation they were just having before, and is kind of nodding along. And then nods at Elijah and puts her phone back in her pocket and says, "Continue with what you were saying, Ava."
I forgot.
Memory loss. Again, another knowing look at Elijah.
Or I just maybe don't want to bother with it. There's no point in repeating and repeating and repeating oneself.
Lack of motivation.
Right. I'm gonna go and cook dinner. I'll see you later. And Ava will walk into the kitchen.
Nausicaa actually just follows her. And she'll just observe her, seeing what she's cooking.
She's cooking pot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn druggies.
No, she's making
Pizza.
no, she's not making pizza. Actually, she's making pasta. There you go. Just bolognese pasta.
Nausicaa looks slightly disappointed. Could I ask a favor?
Sure.
Could you make some for me? Today, my food option was whatever you were eating.
She adds more pasta to the boiling water.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You sure you want to eat something that I'm preparing?
Yes.
There is a kind of smirk growing on Ava's face as she is thinking, replace basil with weed. But Ava is nice, so she's not gonna do that. She's just kind of enjoying the image in her head of Nausicaa being stoned. Just, private.
Because last time she
enjoying.
made Nausicaa open up, it was such a healthy event.
Hey, that was an accident. She can enjoy a few private moments in her own mind space.
And what are you drinking? Maybe energy drink?
What?
How? Sure. I will drink energy drink.
Nausicaa looks immeasurably immeasurably happy. And she goes to the fridge and gets out kind of like Monster or more likely some like off-brand Polish energy drink. And hands one to Nausicaa, one to herself, and one to Elijah. You'll like it. It's good for you. This one's blue flavor.
Blue flavor?
Yeah,
As
blue.
Blue.
as Elijah looks at the can, turn it up, and start to read out loud via the composition of it.
Yeah, it's almost certainly it's definitely sold by like some corner shop down the road. That it's just like the worst thing basically.
Nausicaa, how can something taste blue?
She just takes a big swig. I don't know. I'm not a chef.
It cannot taste blue. It may taste blueberry, but not blue.
He's just gonna drink a little bit of it as he goes. I mean, I've read the formula. There's no blueberry.
No, I
It
didn't expect
is
this to be anything.
0.9%.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start getting him to sell these at Tito's.
Definitely making a smoothie again tomorrow. Or even tonight. God damn it.
Nausicaa frowns slightly. Did you not want to drink this?
Yes, I wanted to drink this, Nausicaa.
Scowls again. Are you sure? Are you not just saying that?
Alma kind of tries to hide a smile. Yes, I absolutely thought, let's have energy drink with my pasta.
Elska scowls again and then looks satisfied. Oh, good. I was worried you were just saying it to appease me.
Alva will glance at the light at that point and then will shake her head. I would never do anything to appease you, Asuka. You know that.
Elska nods. And just, yeah, drinks this incredibly unhealthy, borderline worm-tainted bloody drink.
As Elijah will probably be more fascinated by the chemical formula of the drink.
Yeah, the chemical formula of the drink is not so much what it's made up of as its accurate description, a chemical formula.
I mean, it's okay. He's just taking note as he's thinking that perhaps the way, like, he takes secret notes in his, crazy scientist journal, that the way to test thing of Nausicaa definitely has to come in form of energy drinks.
Yeah, blue flavored serum.
We want to end the scene here with at least the 2/3 of them starting to go and have dinner, and their players are gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then this is where we're gonna end the scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. So it's another scene for Living World of Darkness, the Mage venue.